What?
I found Ant-Man.
Can I have your phone? There's no ant down there. I just want to solve the Rubik's Cube. Can I have your phone now?
No.
Give me. Hey! No!
This is Ant-Man.
Ew, what is that? You just picked something random up off the cut.
That's Thanos' victory screech.
Stop whistling so I can say hi, guys. Welcome back to the Disappearing Quirks.
Ants go marching in.
Welcome back.
I'm wearing the wrong shirt. I actually don't have an Ant-Man shirt. That's depressing.
Stitch says hi. Hello. And welcome back to the Disappearing Quirks with a movie review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh, Hannah!
No.
Hello, Disappearing. I just said hello, Disappearing Quirks. Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to Disappearing Quirks. Today we're back with another movie review of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, we'll do a quick spoiler-free overview and then a big long spoiler. Spoiler.
So Ant-Man and the Wasp is a wonderful family film. It's a very fun movie. You kind of go into it. It's just it's one of those movies where you just enjoy it. You enjoy the ride. You laugh. You have fun. They do something a little bit different with the plot. They actually have like a villain storyline that's not really a villain, so you end up just kind of getting multiple points of view with the story, which is really nice and kind of refreshing for a superhero story. The humor is honestly probably better than the first one. They actually top that. All the actors are great. It's Marvel. It's not going to be life-changing or revolutionizing the superhero movies like Infinity War did. But if you want a fun movie where you're going to laugh and enjoy yourself and walk out of the theater, well, we'll get to it. But for the most part, walk out of the theater smiling and knowing that you watched a nice little Marvel story. That's what this movie is. It's enjoying. I would recommend anyone go see it.
Personally, I didn't know who Ant-Man was until Jack made me watch the first movie like 2 days before the second movie.
Even though she saw Civil War.
I forgot that he was in Civil War. It wasn't what I expected, but obviously we'll get into expectations with the next segment of this. That's how I'm going to put that. But it was really good. Does that make sense?
Insightful. So that was our spoiler-free review.
Why are you killing me with your eyes?
If we could kill. If you could describe Ant-Man and the Wasp in one word, what would you say? That is not spoiler.
Intense.
Ant-tense?
Intense.
I thought you said ant-tense. I thought she made an ant pun.
It could be intense.
Multiple tenses of ants. You heard it here first.
I have to burp, but it's stuck.
Goodbye, darling.
See ya. Where am I going? Am I going this way?
No,
I'm going this way.
Spoilers. Spoiler review is gonna break down like this.
Oh, we never did the rating in the beginning.
Overall rating of Ant-Man and the Wasp. How many ants out of 10 would you give it?
8.5.
I would give it an 8. A strong 8. Anyway, the spoiler review is going to break down like this. We're going to, and we've done this like 5 times, that's why I'm upset. We're going to do plot, characters, expectations, comparing it to the first movie, and the after credits scene. Expectations. I said it out of order. We're doing expectations first. I'm not saying it again. Expectations of the movie. Taylor, go.
So, I am one of those people who watches the trailers, gets an idea in their head, and if the idea is really good and the movie doesn't live up to it, I get disappointed. That's kind of what happened with this movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. The trailers for me made it out to be like he was a failing superhero that needed a partner to straighten him out, and it was going to be all partner based and less villain based and more like two people coming together like for a greater good. But honestly, the outcome of that was that it really was more along the lines of a villain base and him getting his life together. Ultimately, I feel that they advertised the partnership but didn't actually focus on the partnership of the two characters that much at all.
I wholeheartedly disagree with
It was about her mother.
Taylor made is saying.
The entire
movie was exactly how I thought it would go. So, in terms of Marvel movies, Ant-Man is very straightforward. It's not like Infinity War where there's a lot of heavy stuff and like plot twists and stuff like that. Ant-Man movies are very like straightforward. It was a team-up movie introducing the Wasp, and we knew from the first movie and the end of it that they were going to try to get her mother back. That's been a plot point they set up since that movie. So that was my expectation. It basically followed everything I thought it would do. The villain was the only like twist for me was the villain with Ghost. Like I liked that ended up being an actual like almost ally in the end. Like I appreciated that aspect, but like everything else is pretty much expected for me. Me and Taylor are now going to film a fight scene.
No. Ah, hey.
Plot down.
Even though my expectations were far from being met because of what I had planned in my own head, the plot itself was phenomenal. I think it was really cool and well done, and ultimately, even though it didn't meet my expectations, doesn't matter because it made its own expectations and it was really good.
The plot, as I said, is not like it's not twisty. It's like one path, except for like the villain. That's my biggest point with the plot. I love that in the end it ended up being the villain actually was kind of you were like sympathetic with. Like you ended up seeing where she was coming from. She wasn't I'm gonna destroy the world because well I hate everyone, I hate humanity, I'm gonna kill you because you're a superhero. Like it was actually a good villain. Marvel was doing really good at that lately. Like with actually good solid villains who have like motives that you kind of agree with and like understand. And in the end, they all stood with each other. And that was my favorite shot of that movie because everyone was kind of like on the same side.
Yes, I understand the sympatheticness part of that, where like you feel bad for her. I honestly would have rather have seen her dead, to be honest, because I was so annoyed with the fact that she was so caught up in herself that she would sacrifice anyone and anything, including his little girl, including like anyone, her mother, like anyone could die. It just as long as she got to live.
Two counterpoints. If your cells are being slowly torn apart, each by like every second, you wouldn't be very happy.
No, and I'm not saying she should
And
be.
that's the only reason she was like that. I don't agree with what she did. I very much dislike what she did. But I'm glad that it wasn't just we're gonna kill this villain off because they're a villain and they're completely evil. Second argument is I forget the name of the guy that she was with, because he was also kind of a villain there for a minute. And that's why I like the whole standing shot, because he ended up being on their side, and he even told Hank good luck when he went for his wife.
Right.
I appreciate that the villains weren't really villains.
Yeah. Which ultimately...
They might have done bad things, but that doesn't make them completely bad, and I appreciate that Marvel didn't just kill them off. Everything else from plot that I can say is that they do a good job, Marvel does it again, of including people that have never seen any of the other movies, and continuing all the little plot threads in the first movie. Even from Civil War, like they bring in like his growing factor into Giant Man. They continue kind of with the love story between him and Hope. Like they bring back Louise telling the stories. Like it's little stuff like that that I really appreciate that they continue for fans that have seen the first one. And they also do a good job of, as I told Taylor when the movie started, thanks for recapping the whole first movie in 5 minutes for us, because they do that too. So plot, A+. A+ on plot. Good plot.
Next, characters.
Taylor doesn't have a lot to say about characters. We kind of touched on characters. The only thing I really want to add with characters that I had an issue with, this is the only issue I had with the whole movie, and it bothered me and me only probably. I understand that Scott ended up saving his daughter in the first one, like with her stepdad there, and that ended up being respect. But at what point did the character completely switch from, I hate your guts, I'm gonna drag you down and make sure you go to jail, oh, you saved my daughter, so that means, oh, you're my buddy, I'm gonna hug you all the time, and you're my best friend, oh, I love you so much, Scott. That was the only thing that bothered me.
Seemed a little bit,
I just thought it was, I just thought it was a little bit, like, jarring.
Yeah,
It was a very strong transition, and I mean, I guess he has been in the house for 2 years, but it was just a little, like, it was funny, I liked their interactions, but it was a little off-putting to see that character turn into that. Also, the only other thing for characters don't bother getting attached to the ants. All the ants die. He named 2 ants in a row and they both get hit.
Another thing that I found a little bit hard to swallow, essentially he's on house arrest because he betrayed Hope and her father, because he took their technology and, you know, went and fought in, what was it, Germany? Across seas, and that was not cool, okay? Which totally makes sense, I understand completely. However, we never saw their angry reaction until this movie, so we went from the scene of them kissing and loving each other in the last movie to all of a sudden they hate each other's guts.
I kind of, like, respect that, though, that they made that decision to include that in the movie, because it's no longer Marvel standalone film. It is truly and 100% the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I appreciate that even though we haven't been in Ant-Man world, like, for a while, that they tie it all the way back to Civil War and the Sokovia Accords and have it, like, real-life consequences carry through. So I appreciate that fact.
However, if you're like me and you just watched the first one and skipped to the second one and you didn't take the time to reassess the entire universe, it might shell shock you.
This is why we conflict on reviews, because I'm a nerd and she's not. Only other character point. Scott Lang is the best dad in the MCU. Might be.
He is not. He's the best grandma in the MCU.
Also, I mentioned him once, but Louise is also probably like the MVP of this movie. I could listen to a 3-hour movie of him just telling a story all on its own.
Can we offer up this idea?
No, we need to start a petition to the Russo brothers to make an alternate cut of Avengers 4. Like, they can make Avengers 4 however they want to make Avengers 4, but as like a bonus feature on the Blu-ray disc, have an alternate cut where it's just Louise telling the whole story. I have one question for our next little category. Taylor. Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I like them both.
Boo.
But I did! Ant-Man itself was just so clever to me. Just the entire idea of it, which is just that wow factor of, you know, starting a new character and starting a new, and it doesn't even go to the movie, obviously that goes to the, you know, the comics and the real creators, but like the movie itself is the first embodiment of Ant-Man that I've ever seen, and it has that wow factor of this is a really cool idea. Okay.
I will say this. I like Ant-Man and the Wasp better. For this reason. It builds. It doesn't just rehash the first movie. It doesn't just do all the same things. It takes the first movie and it improves upon it. It's like a talent show where the judges want them to come back and do what they did, but do it better. And I think that's what Ant-Man and the Wasp did. I think it upped the humor, it upped the character, it upped the story. And I even like that it made more use of when he shrunk down. They did action scenes with them like shrunk down. Like I feel like they just took every area and improved upon it, and I really liked it. It was a really solid movie. So yeah, so we watched a great movie. We were laughing and having a good time. Great plot. Credits started. Waiting for the after credit scene. After credit scene came on, and my heart just started going. I wasn't spoiled. I didn't know, but I knew. I knew from the second the scene started. Like I'm up. They're sending them in. They're counting down right now. They'll make the countdown now, but when they try to get it back out, it's not gonna happen. It's like Marvel gave me a big bucket of ice cream as therapy. That was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then I turned into like a 4-year-old kid. And I was like, oh, this ice cream is great. I'm really happy now. And Marvel was like, how's that ice cream? And I'm like, it's great. And they're like, take, dump. Stop. And then for good measure, they took a knife, stuck it in my chest, ripped my heart out, threw that on the ground, and stomped on it as well, and then spit on it and walked away, laughing.
Yeah.
That's the after credit scene. Thanks, bye.
I wasn't expecting it to be all of them, but ultimately it had to be.
Okay, here's the thing. It had to be all 3 of them. Because as weird as this sounds, Avengers 4 is going to really focus on Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. That's a really, really weird statement. But those 2 are going to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
At least that's a prediction.
Because from what everyone's speculating, from what I'm speculating, it's going to involve the quantum realm. It's going to involve Captain Marvel's powers because she's like complete like god tier superhero. There's a thing that I noticed that I hadn't noticed before. It's a bit of a throwaway line. Like they don't put a lot of attention on it, but Marvel likes to put hints, and I think it's a hint. Because the mom, I forget her name. I don't know why I forget her name, but Hope's mom. when they're sending Scott in, she says, "And make sure you don't get sucked into a time vortex." And I think that it's so much of a throwaway line that I think even Taylor missed it. But I think that's a key to what might happen. Because no one knows that Scott is in the quantum realm. People are like theorizing that he's going to use like the healing particles to help bring everyone back, but I think they're going to introduce multiple timelines. They're going to introduce going into the past and trying to fix it, and I think Scott is the key to that. Because I think he's going to not only get sucked into a time vortex, but figure out how to work with time vortexes. And this is a really like big drawn out theory I have going, but I think it's going to, I think the time travel aspect of, like a lot of people think there's going to be time travel in the next movie.
Well, there has to be.
And I think it's going to be because of Scott.
Dude, this entire time I've been sitting here like Doctor Strange, turning back time and stuff. How is this going to work without him?
Yeah, man.
That is a brilliant idea!
Only thing I have to add, if Marvel wanted to make a movie without any superheroes, just set in like apocalyptic post-Thanos snap, I'd be completely okay with that.
That would be a really
Because
super cool...
before they got to the ant playing on the drums, like the whole scene of them just showing the city like completely empty with like sirens blaring and like the TV's just dead, like that was dark. That was really jarring to see that. And that would be really cool to see a movie like that. They're not going to do that, but it would be cool. Alright, we're going to wrap this up because apparently the camera's dying now. This has been a review. It's been quite the journey with Marvel lately. Quite the journey with us. We're going to keep these up, and we'll probably be back with you guys. If there's any other movie that piques our interest, we'll do another movie review. I don't know when it comes out. I think Glass is coming out soon, so we have to watch Unbreakable. That's probably going to come to you guys soon. We're going to do that. The next Marvel movie, though, will be Captain Marvel. And that is until next year, so we won't have another Marvel review for a while. But, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you thought of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Tell us what you think of Thanos being a big fat jerk face. Tell us which ant was your favorite and how hard you cried when it died. As always, stay quirky. We love you. Ants in my pants.
DisappearingQuirks! Dairy Queen sponsor us!
Welcome back to the Disappearing Quirks. Do that again.
Are we done now?
Do it again. Thank you.